Hey guys, it's Oscar. How you doing? I wanted to make a little quick another shave recap video because I know I had been talking about the razors that David Gonzalez let me borrow, and today I used, or I'm sorry, it was actually yesterday. I didn't get a chance to make the video, but I used it yesterday, and it was the second of the razors he sent me. I had been using the stainless steel Mongoose, which for one reason or another, again, it was probably just, again, my inexperience with it, but I wasn't getting shaves that I was really crazy about. So again, I'm sure, like I said, it was my inexperience. But today I used the other one he had sent me, which was the Above the Tie R2. This one here. It's an open comb, double-edged safety razor from Above the Tie. Now I looked at the Above the Tie website, and I've known just kind of through my involvement in the hobby the last almost 2 years that Above the Tie has come up and they make very, very high quality stainless steel razors. Now I looked on their website, and what kind of got me was there are so many to choose from. I saw 32 under the stainless steel razors heading. There was 32 different variations, but a lot of them, I mean, for the most part, it's the same. They have just a few, not a few heads, but they have a certain amount of heads, and then different handles that go with each head. So that's why there was so many. That's why there was a total of 32. So for example, let's say there was 8 different heads, but there was 4 different handles you can have with each one. So that's kind of what made it so many. But so it looked a little overwhelming at first, but it was actually not so bad. They have slant, open comb, closed comb, single edge, a couple single edges. They have a single edge straight bar and a single edge open comb, and then they have different handles that can go with each one, all of them being stainless steel though. So you're going to get that heft, you're going to get that weight, that that heftiness with the razor. So and they're all right around $185 to $189 if I'm not mistaken. So but that seems to be kind of the standard price range for a good stainless steel safety razor. So I used this one yesterday, and I got to tell you, this was one of the best shaves I've had in a long time, because I don't know if it was maybe because I was going on almost 5 days worth of growth, so maybe my face had rested, and when I used the Mongoose, I used it once and then I used it again like a day and a half later, and I've always had kind of sensitivity issues on my neck. So that may have made a difference, but this is definitely a razor that I would use after a few days of growth, not just my standard. I don't shave every day. The most often I shave is every other day. This is definitely a razor I would only use after a few days of growth because of the aggressiveness. Now, when disassembling it and kind of inspecting it, the handle is really cool because the knurling and grip has this barber pole. I don't know how the lighting is. How the barber pole kind of spiral machining to it. If you can see, yeah, there you go. And that makes it really comfortable in the hand. So that was pretty cool. And then when I was disassembling the top plate and the base plate, I noticed the machining kind of inside here, kind of the striations, if that's the right word, the striations of the machining. You can kind of see the swirling and stuff in there. And I noticed that these posts are pretty small. But the base plate is kind of where the magic is. It's a solid steel. I mean, listen, that's the base plate right there. And again, obviously the open comb, and the way it sits in there, it sits in there. There's a little bit of play, but I didn't have any blade alignment issues. There's just a little bit of play, but I mean, that was definitely not an issue. And then with that gap between the top plate and the base plate, I knew that was going to be an aggressive razor. Now given that knowing that I was going to have that aggressiveness, and then the post lines up, if you can see, the post lines up with with the part of the razor where where they come together like that, as opposed to many razors, the post would go into the larger hole right there. You see that? I know Douglas does that with his the new stainless steel, the Evolution razors. He does that as well. So that definitely keeps it from having any kind of movement and any play. So that keeps it in good alignment. And then, so again, knowing that it was going to be an aggressive razor, I used a blade that I'm very comfortable with. So I used the Persona Lab Blue, a brand new one. And so that's how it is. There's the blade exposure. You can't really see it, but there's the blade exposure. That's a lot of exposure, at least for me. So, and then if you can't really see the blade in there. Well, there you kind of can. Over here you can see how much exposure there is. There. So, and then looking at it from the bottom, you see the blade exposure in between the combs as well. Yeah. So I knew it was going to be an aggressive shave, and I knew it was going to be a zero pressure shave as well, which it actually was. And I knew I wanted to use a soap that I knew would definitely kind of be dummy proof as far as the slickness. And I used Tim's soap, Blue Soup. Unfortunately, Tim's has kind of hung it up as far as his soap making. He's kind of closed shop, but I was able to get a hold of that on the BSD site through a trade, actually through a purchase, and it is really honestly one of the best citrus scents that I have. I mean, you know, I love Stubble Troubles Rhymes with Orange, and this one definitely gives a run for their money. These two are definitely at the top for my citrus scents. But back to the razor. So yeah, I knew that it was going to be aggressive, so it had to be zero pressure and just take your time. And you know, when I said efficiency for the Hawk and some other razors I've used, this one just mowed right through. So just one swipe and it was gone. And then I mean, I could have gone by with a 2-pass shave, but I'm, you know, stubborn that way with BBS. But on my subsequent passes, there was a lot less to take off. After the first pass, there was a lot less to take off in the subsequent passes than there has been with other razors. So this is definitely very efficient as well. Again, the weight was different just because I'm not used to it. But I know that if this was a constant user, that you could definitely become much more efficient with it. So that was kind of it. I wanted to sing the praises of the Above the Tie. This is the R2 with the Atlas handle, if I'm not mistaken. And thanks Dave. Thanks David for letting me borrow it. I really enjoyed it, and I look forward to using it again. So I hope everybody's well. You know, Christmas coming up. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays, whatever it is that your faith directs you to believe. Then I hope it is a happy season for everybody. So everybody be well, and we look forward to January 7th in Huntington Beach. Peace. Bye.